Welcome to Kenpo University. My name is Al Babinick and I'm your instructor. Little thought of the day, and honestly, I don't know who cares about this. You might care, you might not care. I don't know. Whenever I go to seminars, all right, and it's with anybody, whenever I go to any seminar anywhere, I always take notes. And sometimes, you know, you'll always see me with my notebook and my pen, all right? Sometimes the person who's talking is going so fast, or you're trying to write stuff down, but you want to still get back in and practice everything and, you know, get hands-on with everything, that you can't keep up. So here is over, God, I don't know how many years I've been doing seminars. Over 20-some years of doing seminars. This is my shorthand system for taking notes at seminars and how to do it quickly, efficiently, and get the job done and be able to get back in there and practice what you were just writing down instead of spending all your time going, what did he say? How did that happen? Or looking at, this used to happen all the time too, is you look at your notes after the seminar or after 2 weeks or something like that and you go, I have no idea what that means. And you can't reproduce that cool move that you saw, you know? So, but here's my system for shorthand for the martial arts, as specifically us Kenpo guys. Okay, so first, let's talk about just a couple of the basics. When I'm writing shorthand, if I want to denote an arm, I just make an R and a circle. And that means right hand, or of course L would be left, correct? And then if I want to denote a leg, I do an R, a circle, and then I just put a quick little F right up on the corner of it, and that says right foot. So if I want my right foot to do something, this one. Right hand, this one, okay? Or left foot, doesn't make a difference. If I want to show that I'm going clockwise or counterclockwise, I'll do a C in a square for clockwise, and of course, a CC in a square for counterclockwise. So if I have to say, oh, my hand's going around this way, I'm going to say, oh, it's going counterclockwise. If it's going this way, oh, it's going clockwise. All right, at least to me. I don't know if it is to you, but it is to me. So that's saying right or left, clockwise, counterclockwise. All right? So one of the other things that we have to talk about is stances. So with our stances, the nice thing is when you think of your stances, if you put 3 letters together with the names of the stance, none of them are the same. And I'll tell you what I mean. So a right neutral bow is R, N, B. A right forward bow is R, F, B. Right reverse bow, R, R, B. A right front twist, R, F, T. Right rear twist, R, R, T. So, and you could do, sorry if I forgot a couple. Right close kneel is an R, C, K. Right close kneel. R, W, K. Right wide kneel. Okay? So, and of course, those are all lefts too. So whenever I want to denote a stance, I just use one of these. So right hand, right foot, clockwise, counterclockwise, there's all my stances that I could use. All right? Now if we're talking about strikes, I like doing the freestyle stuff. And a lot of times if you learn the freestyle, it's harder to say what the freestyle is than just do the freestyle. But this is where it might come in a little bit handy for you. All right? So an H, capital H, is a heel palm. A capital P is a punch. All right? Now, when you're doing a punch, if you want to say it's horizontal or vertical, you could just put a little H in there for horizontal or a little V for vertical. So you just capital P, and then a little H or a V for a horizontal punch or a vertical punch. Okay? So you can do it that way if you want. And then we have lowercase b, lowercase k, and that's a back knuckle. So we have got our heel palm, our punch, and our back knuckle. Now, that's pretty much as far as freestyle takes us. Now, we do have hooking punches and things like that in freestyle. That we've got the HP for hooking punch. But if you wanted to set up different things for like an elbow or a chop or something like that, so if you, now, a lot of times I'll just write out elbow or ELB, or I'll write chop or whatever, but feel free to put LB for elbow, or just a CH for a chop. So they're your notes, right? Do what you want. But so those are basically the strikes that we're going to be using. All right, now let's talk about some kicks. There's a lot of kicks in freestyle, a lot more than strikes, really. So, but as you're doing the freestyle, just a K, a capital K is a front kick. Now, normally in freestyle, it's front kick, front foot, but most of the time, so it's front kick, front foot, just easy to remember if you're trying to do things on the opposite side, but a K is a kick. And then we start adding modifiers. So if I did a lowercase r and a capital K, that's a roundhouse kick. So RK, roundhouse kick, and HK is a heel kick. And that could be a thrusting heel kick. It could be a scooping heel kick, a hooking heel kick, whatever. It's just a heel kick. So you might want to write something else, but that's a heel kick. And then you've got your TSK, which is a thrusting sweep kick. Your SRK, which is a spinning rear kick. So I don't know if you have all the freestyle things down, all the little notes and letters and stuff like that, but this is a good way to do it. So even if you don't have the freestyle, you could use what I'm showing here. Make up your own. It doesn't make a difference. Okay? So if you want SCK to be a scoop kick, go ahead and do it. All right? LS is a leg sweep. So if I did an LS, that's a leg sweep. But basically, your kicks all have the K on except the leg sweep, but that's okay. And that is how we're going to denote kicks. Power principles. We need these because it'll help you understand the technique a lot better. And if you know what the power principle is, you understand the strike better. Or if you know what the strike is, you understand why the power principle is what it is. So I go bum, back up mass. Okay? So a bum is back up mass. Just a big old T is torque. All right? And MOG, marriage of gravity. That's a G. Sorry if it didn't look like that. But marriage of gravity. Okay? So if you're doing borrowed force or opposing forces or something like that, I usually I would put BORF, or so for borrowed force, or OPPF for opposing forces. I usually don't need those too much when I'm taking notes, unless I'm doing some type of comparison or the instructor that day is doing some type of comparison. So as far as your power principles go, it's just the major ones that you're going to need all the time. Again, it's just shorthand for notes. It's not shorthand for the whole system, you know? So, but that's pretty good as far as the power principles go. Okay, one other thing is you're going to need directions and you're going to need blocks or parries all the time, okay? So if I'm trying to do a direction, I just use the arrows, all right? And the arrows are always relative to me. So if I did that, well, that's down. So that means I'm hitting down, or if I was stepping, I'd be stepping back. So that means go backwards, right? And then we just use the whole universal pattern, okay? You could also, so if I was going that way, I could just write the arrow, or if it's something pretty complicated, I would just write inward, downward, inward slash downward. So that way I know it's a right inward, downward diagonal hammer fist across the nose or whatever it's doing. Okay? So you could use the arrows, or you could just say inward, downward, or ID, whatever you want it to be. Upward, outward, inward, downward, inward, upward. You could use all that in, out, up, down. Those are the 4 easy ones. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to talk about blocks and parries, because how many times are you going to write block or parry when you're taking notes? Almost every technique, right? Not everyone, but almost everyone. So when I do a block, I just combine the letter B, here's my lowercase b, and an L, like that. Now it kind of looks like that mathematical function or a mathematical symbol for an angle, all right? But when I'm taking notes, I just do it really fast. I just go down, around, and out. And there's my block, okay? So that's a block. And then PAR is parry. So when you're going through, here's your blocks, here's your parries, all right? All right, let's take a look at how all this fits together. So if I was writing out a technique, this is how it would work. So if I was taking notes during a class and the instructor's going through something, it would be left foot back and right inward block. Left foot back, right inward block. Got it? And then it's a right kick. Okay? And then it's a right. I'm going to say outward, downward, so I could go out, down, or I can make an arrow. Either or, outward, downward, and it's a shorthand. I don't have a symbol for shorthand. I usually just write chop. If you want to write CH or something like that, I just say chop. And then, if I wanted to, I could add some of the other stuff. So, left foot back, and I could just put, I'm going to go to a right neutral bow. Okay? Into a right neutral bow. And then I do this, right outward, downward chop. And maybe the important thing here is that the power principle is marriage of gravity. I'll just put marriage of gravity on that. Now, again, they're your notes. You could do whatever you need to do on there. But that's basically delayed sword. So it's left foot back into a right neutral bow and a right inward block. And then it's a right front kick. And then it's right outward downward chop using marriage of gravity. So if I wanted to put that, hey, all this has to hit at the same time, I could do that. But basically, there's delayed sword. Quick, easy, and pretty painless is once you start using all the shorthand. So let's get into one that's maybe a little bit more complicated. We'll see how we can write this one down. So, and see when you recognize what the technique is, okay? It's in brown. I'm doing a brown technique way at the end of the system. So here's what we're doing. So it's left foot back and right inward block. Okay? And it's going to be followed by a right outward block and a left punch. Got it? Then we're doing, we're going to pivot to a, in this one, I want to say, I'm going to add this at the bottom in a right forward bow. Looked like a P. I had to make my B right. Right neutral bow and a right thrusting chop. So if you wanted to put like a big C or something like that for chop, you could. I just always write chop, but right neutral bow and a right thrusting chop. Then it's going to be, and I'm going to keep just going this way instead of down for the separate steps. I usually write things in steps, but I'm just going to keep going sideways so I've got enough room. And then we're going to do a left front twist, and my right arm is going to circle counterclockwise. So right arm goes counterclockwise, and you just say to check the arm, and I would put checks arm down. And a left inward, and this is where, again, there's not really shorthand for this. You're just going to pop his eardrum. So cup your hand. Left inward, and I'm just going to put pop eardrum. Okay? And then it's a right knee. So even though it's I still put foot just to denote I'm using a leg. Right knee. If you wanted to say to the thigh, again, they're your notes. You can get as technical as you want. So right knee to the thigh. And I'm just going to put to 1030. So my right foot's doing a knee to the thigh, and I'm going to 1030. So landing in a right neutral bow. Did the wrong thing. There. Landing in a right neutral bow with a right inward elbow. So I'm landing a 1030 in a right neutral bow with a right inward elbow. My left foot is going to adjust. And again, when I'm doing stuff like this, I won't always use the arrows if it's going to be more confusing when I'm done. So my left foot just adjusts. Really, you're going to the center line. Most of the time, you could just say, oh, okay, it's going to 730. So your left foot is going to 730. And then you're going to drop down, as you're going to drop down into a right close kneel and a right rear. I'm not going to have room to write this, but right rear hammer. I just do it like that. So again, normally I just do one thing per line. I don't try to go all the way across, but you see it's going to take a little bit. And then it's a right scoop and out to 730. Do you know what technique it is? Again, it's out of brown. So maybe I should have used one from before in the system, but there we go. I just wanted to show you that you can write something out pretty. If you look in the manual, this technique's probably about this much on a typewritten page. So it's left foot back, right inward block, right outward block with a punch in the right forward bow. Right neutral bow, right thrusting chop. Then left front twist, right hand's going counterclockwise, and you're going to, if you want to say check the arm down or whatever, that's up to you. Checking the arm down and left popping the eardrum. At this point, my right knee is going to the thigh. I'm going to pop him in the thigh, and I'm going to 1030, which is over that way. I'm going to land in a neutral bow with an elbow. By the way, I've seen this technique done with a forearm too. Whatever, okay? So if you do it a different way, who cares? So it's with the right inward elbow, your left foot adjusts out to 730 in a close kneel with a hammer fist. And then you do a right scoop kick and cross out to 730. And that was fatal deviation out of Brown. So I can write it if somebody's talking in front of me and I'm trying to write stuff down. I can try to follow along relatively easy if I'm taking notes like this. So I hope that helps. Like I say, I've just come up with it over the years, going to seminars or staying in class. In my school, I actually have these bars on the wall. Not only do they keep people from flying through the walls for taming the mace, but they also have a little piece of wood on top of them so that people can bring in their notebooks and their pencils and they set them down so that during class, if they want to take a note, they can just grab it, take a note real quick. So again, I hope this helped. I don't know if you care or not. Hey, I'll open this one up for comments, okay? So let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. And don't forget, I'm doing this for you guys. Do me a favor. Hit the like, okay? Or share me with people or subscribe to the channel, all right? Just let me know you like this stuff. Have a great day. Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.